Hey guys, back again, and today we're forging this.
So this Bowie's being made out of an old mill bastard file, and we're starting off by forging the tang. I'm not aiming to get the tang perfect right now, I'm just getting the amount of mass I need isolated, so that way I can come back to it later and tune it up before I do my burn through. And back to the forge to start working on the blade. First we're going to take the 4.5 pound cross peen and use the peen side in order to widen this out, because Bowies are naturally very wide and not very thick. So I'm going to make this nice and wide and thin out the material a little bit before I start shaping it. Now I'm going to use the rounding side of the hammer in order to get rid of all of those depressions I just made. I've noticed, funnily enough, it actually widens out more when you're flattening it out than when you are actually putting those depressions in. Now we're going to switch to a rounding hammer that's 2.5 pounds, and we're going to start to straighten it out and form the choil, or the ricasso, depending on what you want to call it. It's just an unsharpened area on a lot of knives like Bowie's that kind of sets between the guard and where the bevel starts on the edge. Now I'm just going to round that point over. This isn't going to be a very heavy swoop kind of clip point. I kind of want this to be a more round, progressive clip point, so I'm giving it a little bit more roundness right now before I actually start forming the blade shape. Now I'm going to go over to the tapered horn, the tapered flat horn near my princhel, and kind of put the recurve into the blade itself and just kind of straighten up the spine a little bit while I'm at it. Basically, I like to do this before I bevel it. I think it was Jason Knight that I saw doing this with, I think it was a shoe-shaped kitchen knife that he was doing it with that gave me the idea to do this for Bowie's before I beveled it. So thanks for putting that online, Jason. You helped a lot of people out with all those forging videos you've been putting up. Always remember to wire brush your steel and keep your anvil clean of slag if you want to have clean forgings. So I'm going to do my best to show how I do this on camera. I'm also going to kind of freeze frame in a couple spots just in between heats at the end of them, so you can kind of see how I'm doing this. But when you're beveling a recurved blade, it's kind of tricky to get it all to grow in proportion, so you start out by making yourself a nice little section that's beveled and that's kind of sticking out fatter than the rest, and you're going to follow it up to that recurve, then restart where that recurve kind of leans in. One thing to keep in mind when you're beveling a knife is lighter taps are always better than harder strikes. It's easier to fix a messed up strike if it's a lighter tap than a harder strike. The only reason I'm hitting it as hard as I am is because I've done a Bowie before, I've done a lot of edge bevels on knives before, so I'm pretty comfortable beveling even something that's, got a recurve to it like this. So as you can see here, just like I was talking about before, this is where you're going to want to restart that base level bevel and match it to the end of the other part. So this is where it's going to kind of start to bulge back out, and you're going to get that nice recurve shape starting to form. And then you just follow that all the way up to the tip and allow the tip to curve back, and you'll have a Bowie. I'll just let you guys watch the rest of the transformation as it happens. And just like that, we have a finished Bowie knife profile. All that's left to do is use the flatter on it a little bit, get it nice and straight and true. And then off camera, I did forge a guard for this, as well as drill out and burn through a piece of mahogany for the handle before the quenching scene. So I'll just leave you guys to the rest of the footage, and I'll see you at the end of the video.
Later.
So the quench turned out perfectly, and blade turned out pretty nice, hardened up really well. Like I said, forged a guard, got the wood ready, and this is the end result at the end of the day. Obviously, I've still got some work to do. It's not quite finished just yet, but I'll have another video on cleaning this up and finishing it, so that way you guys can have kind of a two-part series on how to make a nice little Bowie knife out of a file.
That does it for this video. Now that you've seen how I forged the blade on this, I just wanted to show you guys also that bow tie guard, and it's going to be a mahogany burn through handle. I leave a little bit of space so I can roach out the rest and make it a real tight fit, as well as a little space here, so that way I can, there you go, now you can see it. I leave a little space here as well, so that way when I'm grinding I have a little leeway to fit everything up and make sure it's nice and tight. But that does it for this video. If you guys want to buy a knife or an axe or a sword that I have up on my shop, go check me out. Links in the description. It's Hooker's Blades on Etsy. If you guys want to see my website, I'm a terrible website builder. You can check it out at hookersblades.squarespace.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That does it for this video. God bless. Love you guys. Stay safe out there.